All right, so welcome back, everybody. We got a very special guest here today. We got Larry Wang. He's played in Fatuous Rump, Lesbian Tribune Squirt,
Yeah.
Gorepot,
Hey.
and we just got him here today to ask him some questions. So we're gonna start out with what first got you into extreme metal, and do you remember the moment you knew this genre was for you?
Well, do you mean like metal in general or like brutal death metal or
Like
slam?
brutal death metal, like the slam and
Okay.
grindcore.
Well, I didn't know it was a thing. It was back in 99 and I moved to the States for college from Taiwan and there was nothing here. And I've been trying to find like heavier music. I felt like again there's like a ball of energy inside me. Like I can't
Yeah.
get it out. And then punk doesn't do it. And I liked punk in high school. So I was like, and I'm 44 now, so that was 95-ish, and I feel like I didn't do it, and I didn't understand metal too much at the time. Well, I did when I was in sixth grade. Like I liked Metallica,
Hmm.
but I skipped that to find like different genres and stuff, and I felt like shit. Okay, well, I moved to the States. I thought punk was a thing, and it became like this, like Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's doing punk. Yeah, kids are skating and saying, "Oh, punk is the shit," and kids with mohawks and stuff. So I felt like, no, there's got to be something else. So I went to Amoeba Records. I don't know if you guys know from
Yeah, I've
San
heard of them.
Francisco. Okay, yeah, and there was like a secondhand metal section. That was it. So like I start digging. I'm like, okay, cool. There's like a band called Dying Fetus. Well,
Yeah.
now it's not too. I mean, the name itself is not insane anymore. Because you have like anal cunt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it was crazy. It's like, what? A fetus that's dying? That's crazy. So I picked it up like just randomly, and then holy shit! I think that's the music I'm looking for. Well, the chuggier part,
Yeah.
at least. Yeah, I didn't know what it was, so I started digging. So that was when I realized, oh shit, okay, it might be a thing called slam.
Yes,
Saw it
sir.
somewhere on MySpace. That's why I found out. So at
Yes,
this
sir.
time, I think since 2000, I knew I'm going to do slam.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Next question. Do you think that slam or brutal death metal has gone forward and evolved or stagnated over the last decade?
Well, I think overall it has evolved, and then there's like gatekeepers who are confused, because like I think people were too serious about the naming. They said, "Well, it's a microgenre, it's bullshit or whatever." But actually, like they're so into the naming that they're gatekeeping the naming. So I think if you separate brutal death metal and slam, yes, slam itself has evolved. But on the other hand, I think like New Center Elite has brought brutal death metal. Well, basically, they just took gore grind and put in gutturals,
Yeah.
and then they're saying that's the real shit. And I think that's the wrong mentality. So I'm not saying I don't support any New Center Elite. I mean, I buy a lot of their stuff and I love a lot of their bands. But it's just that I think it's when you have an ideology like democracy or communism, it's the people that's running it wrong.
Hmm.
The idea is great. So I think overall for slam wise, yes, I think it has evolved greatly, like vocal wise and riff wise.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but
Sure.
from my side, because I'm 44, I still miss that first time I heard a pornogram mixed into slam, like short bus pile up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know that was different, and then
Yeah.
later on in the day, it was like, okay, it's a totally different genre.
Mhm.
So I missed the time when I didn't know. So I want to bring that idea back.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Next question. We see two different vibes between Gorepot and Fatuous Rump,
right.
between album art especially. So, what to you makes a good slam album art, album cover?
Well, album cover always has to fit the theme. Well, like honestly, when you're a developer or you're a musician from the back end, you don't see the results as much as the fans because you're putting everything together. So from my side, I'm trying to, have different personalities. So what's a good album cover? Whatever, in that. So let's say you're a businessman. You're wearing suits all day. So what if you wore like a baggy, hip hop related clothing? It would look awkward. But in at the hip hop scene, if you wear a suit, it looks awkward. So that's that anti like anti flow, I guess. Yeah, because like everything has a pattern, everything has a
Yeah.
flow. So if you run against it, then you pop up. So for example, like if you're on the highway and what's the famous highway in Texas?
Got
I
45.
290,
290, got
Yeah.
99.
290.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you're on 290, right? So you're driving down the highway. So this Corvette or like Ferrari just zoom past you, whatever. So one car goes by you, two cars go by you, and then you're like, okay, cool. Well, that's another car. And you go to your friends at night, you take a hit, then you're like, what was that car again? Ah, it doesn't matter. So what if 290, right? This car comes by, it's a shitty Civic or shitty Camry. Like everybody would know it's a Camry if it's going at you. Right, because so that's the mentality. It doesn't have to be amazing, it has to be great, but you have to understand to go against
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so
Like
that's
going
the
against
whole.
the traditional like norm and everything,
Yes, yes, yes,
especially.
yes, 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 yes. So like, I don't know if you guys heard of Copper Cephalic.
Uh-uh.
Mm.
Okay, okay. So that was my old band way back in the day. So if you have time, you can check it out. That was
Yeah,
like
for
this.
sure.
It's like a dissonant sort of Fallujah mixed in with a Ghetto Secrete kind of vibe and dissonant tune like mixed in together. So that was like the beginning of dissonant. So my guitarist wrote like a bunch of dissonant, having no idea it's gonna blow up. So back in the day, we got invited to like Vegas Death Fest and headline over there. Well, second to the last of the whole thing. So that was like the first time I experienced like what does it mean by blowing up. So at this time, like Copper Cephalic was like a name that it basically means shithead.
I wouldn't have known that.
Right. Right. It sounds like very medical-ish,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
like elegant. Like, yeah, so that was the idea like behind Fatuous Rump. I want to recreate like so Fatuous Rump, people would know what rump is, but fatuous like it's not a common term. So I want people to start thinking, oh, okay, what does that mean? Oh, it just means stupid ass. So like
Yeah.
it's like a thing that gets people to think and then be like, okay, oh, that was it. That was a simple idea. And yes, is you don't have to think twice. What you get is what you already know. So basically, like we have different levels of IQ. So most of my IQs are super dumb, super low. So I'm very proud many times if I get something.
Gotcha.
So so the whole band name idea is to for people to make them feel better of themselves. Like, oh shit, it actually means stupid ass. I get it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
smart. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So like that was like the whole thing, Gorepot and all the different bands. But then like so talking about the art itself, so in slam, like everybody's doing like somebody killing something or whatever. So I want to in Fatuous Rump is more of the serious vibe because I have band members
Mm.
and they don't get this concept of being super weird. I get that.
Yeah.
So I want to make them happy too. So we start going on the serious side, but then a little bit twisted. But on the Gorepod side, it's just like complete weirdness.
Yeah, it's kind of like fuck it, whatever. I'm gonna
Yeah, 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 exactly, yeah. And it has opened a lot of doors for me.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of good art, I would say understand the flow like 100%. Understand the artists, understand the whole scene, understand all the people who are involved, and then just do something really different.
Yeah, something to
Either
catch the audience.
yes, yes, yes. Either to piss them off or or have them love it. Because if you don't get pissed off, you wouldn't love something.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because like
Some
humans honestly are very stupid in terms of this. Like there's no love. There's is hate with love. You know what I mean? So like
Yep. Yep.
we are so extreme. Everybody in the brutal scene is very extreme because they have so much passion because there's so much hate in the normal world that we have so much passion in what we do. So
Yeah.
that's just something and becomes a norm, in the brutal scene. And I want to, twist it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next one we've got is you've been involved in so many projects. Once again, Gorepot, Fatuous Rump, facelift, deformation, and much more.
Correct.
How do you decide what idea goes into what band?
Okay. So, like my personal life, I do a lot of traveling for tattooing and stuff. So I just went to Spain and Germany a
Oh,
few weeks ago. Yeah, I was supposed to go to Russia, but I forgot my visa. So
wow.
I did go to Russia last year. It was crazy. I have this guy on the train. He was like, "Dude, I'm on the same train with you." I'm like, what?" So it's this brutal death metal guy, slam guy in Russia, and he recognized me. I'm like, okay, well, okay. So it's the traveling that I have ideas. So like I get this thing like, oh shit, okay. And then I'm feeling this vibe and I write it down.
Mhm.
So I write it down and then I either speed it up or slow it down. So depending on the stuff I write, uh so like this is what I do. I write one bit like for 16 measures of something and I end up writing the full album.
Damn.
Yeah, so and then during this time I'm like, okay, well I'll write it for Fatuous Rump. Okay, this feels like Fatuous Rump. And I'm feeling pornographic, so I'll do it for lesbian. So actually, um, it's just whatever the impulse is.
Yeah,
That
I kind
first
of,
impulse, and then
yeah,
I'll take care of the other bands.
gotcha.
So yeah, yeah. So I don't really like, oh, this is whatever. So I write it because of the of one impulse, and then I see what's missing and try to fill the gaps, and the others will just follow.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since you have all these different sounds between the different bands, you
Right,
know,
right,
you gotta kind of figure out what's gonna go where. But it's cool because
right,
just creatively just going and just kind of decide after the
right,
fact. So
right.
you're able to express yourself.
Yes, yes. You guys do music as well? Like you guys are in bands?
He plays guitar and I drum, but
Okay. Oh,
mostly
sick, 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 sick. So when you're how long have you been doing like drumming and guitar?
drumming's 13 years and then
Jesus. Okay.
About 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Okay. Cool. 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 So when you start writing, you start progressing, and then there's always that one like initial when you first drum, you have this amazing idea, and you always kind of down the road you get better, but then you kind of like you're trying to recreate that first initial impulse
yeah.
because that's genuine, that's raw.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I'm trying to do. That's stupid me, and then try to duplicate that. So so you always follow that rawness, that initial like naiveness,
Yeah.
you know, like a caveman kind of thing. So instead of gatekeeping, trying to find out who the real pope is or whatever, or like who like Buddhism started, why don't we just go back to caveman times
Yeah. I
where
like that.
everything, you know what I mean? So you grab a
Yeah.
bone and you knock your friend out, and you call it a prank nowadays. Back then when it wasn't defined, that was a funny thing.
That's fucking awesome, man. That's funny as hell, man.
Yeah, when wedgies were first invented, you're like, it wasn't called a wedgie, but that was the coolest thing, I think. When you have like leopard skin, and your friend just pulled your leopard skin or whatever.
Yeah, Vicente knows definitely about leather skin. Anyway,
Ah,
next question. Your guitars and pig squeals are very distinct. How'd you develop your vocal technique and range?
well, like my habit of doing something. So when I first realized the genre, I try to listen to everything. And then, like back in the day, I realized Christ Denied and this band from China, Regicide. I don't know if you guys heard. Like,
Mm-mm.
I've heard of them, but I haven't
okay,
fully.
check them out. Just the
Perfect.
first album. The second album sucks.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So they do like so Crash Tonight does like that was like 90s or 2000, early 2000. So I was like, holy shit, nobody ever does this. So like when I first got Pig Squeal was when I'm taking a dump because I don't know how to work my diaphragm. When you take a dump, you work your diaphragm, and then it actually works because when you exhale, you need that guttural sound.
Yeah.
So when I first got it, I'm like, oh shit, okay, but how do I make it different? Because I'm just trying to follow whatever I've listened to. So
Yeah.
I try to because I'm like I have a lot of interests, right? So I want to be like a lot of people back in the day. I want to be bits of people. So I take a bunch of stuff and mash it together and just try it out myself.
Gotcha.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So when I like back in the day, I really love Awaken the Cadaver. So I'm
Oh
like, okay,
yeah.
how do I mix that in? How do I make it crazier? How do I, you know, make it sound like Awaken the Cadaver on steroids or on coke, just based on the sound? So like, yeah, I start develop because also I'm an engineer for a lot of years.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry for the stereotype, but yeah, it's
You're
true.
good. You're good.
I wouldn't even have known. That's pretty cool. We didn't know
Yeah, that's
that.
Yeah.
awesome.
So I do math pretty well. So I do a lot of calculations. So I'm like, okay, well, this is not distinctive. How do I make it distinctive? And I realize there's a bottleneck. When I hit that bottleneck, I'm like, shit, it's annoying. For musicians, it's annoying, but it's a beautiful thing too. Once you get by it, you're like, holy, this is the best thing ever, best feeling ever. So I'm always trying to find a new bottleneck and trying to overcome it. So that the during the 15 years or so of music doing like every month because I'm traveling so much, there's always a new bottleneck. Because I talk to somebody, they're like, oh well, I have this feedback, whatever. I said, listen to this and tell me it sounds like shit. They're like, yeah, I feel like it needs more this and that. And I take everybody's ideas in.
Yeah. That critical feedback.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it doesn't matter. I get it from kids too. What do you feel like when you hear this? I want some retarded stuff. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'll put it in. I'll throw it in.
Uh,
Oh, that's great. It's great that you're able to take feedback like that. I know some guys they're very keep it as their
Yes.
sacred place and they aren't able to accept feedback and criticism the right way. So that's awesome that you're able to.
Like that's the thing. Like I I I did. I'm a bassist for a band that's very well known in Taiwan, locally. So we used to do a lot of big shows, like the best shows. We always headline all the time. It was like the number two metal band in Taiwan. So I was the bassist. I get a lot of let's say, what was it, praises or whatever. People are like, "Ah, you're that guy, you're that guy." So I was a little cocky when I was what was it, 27, 28.
Gotcha.
But then but then there's like some places I go. I try to stay humble,
yeah.
but then you're so new to this that people pamper you, so you're kind of spoiled.
Hmm.
But I don't like that feeling because once you get spoiled, you stop doing stuff. And I love doing stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is not the same mentality. So like, I feel like you need to make yourself feel like shit sometimes to have like the best ideas. Like think about North Korea; they have so much culture because Kim Jong Un is a sack of giant nutsack. But again, the leaders being nutsacks are actually, the creators of good art and music. It's a weird thing. So like, if you
Yeah.
think of yeah, and like a lot of people portray America as like this, beautiful heaven, whatever. But then if you live in the States, holy shit, it's tough, it's rough. So this is why you guys can keep coming up with like brutal, especially Texas. Jesus, TXDM.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love it. I hate it at the same time because I can't get that, from living in Asia
Gotcha.
Yeah.
because we don't have like junkies.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, and people don't want to wedgie you. So I encourage people to wedgie me, and they're like, "No, we can't do it out of respect." I'm like, "Fuck you, you guys suck." So So as a whole, it's the way you live actually.
Yes, sir.
So like even like so if I'm living in a very nice, like comforted area, I try to switch it up. I try to, spill my milk. I'm like, fuck, life sucks. So I get that pissed offness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get that again. So I put that in music. So I go right into writing music. So I always have my DAW on all the time.
Gotcha.
So whenever I feel something, I start writing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Next question is kind of goes into play of the Taiwan music scene. How have you seen it evolve, and are there any newer bands that you think people should check out or are just great at what
Uh,
they do?
there's nothing worth checking out in Taiwan, honestly.
Gotcha.
Like a lot of like I think Del Delusional Parasitosis ex drummer Alex MX, he was in Taiwan. I haven't met him because I was in Germany at the time. I'm like, why we switch around? He's from Germany, I'm from
Oh
Taiwan,
wow.
and he's in Taiwan, and I'm in Germany. I'm like, dude. So I didn't get a chance to really talk to him, but I felt like during his trips in Taiwan, there was not much going on. But I
Yeah.
think he's in China right now. There's like so much going on in his stories. So um, like a lot of people came there, like, can I check out local scenes? I'm like, there is no local scenes. Everybody wants to be Bring the Horizon,
Yeah.
whatever the latest. So they want it to be freaking Within Destruction or Voldinia,
Mhm.
all,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever is popular. It's sort of like LA and that little area that the world sees. They want to be that. Yeah, I talked to a lot of white friends here, and they call Taiwanese smooth brains because they can't. They're taught to follow, not to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I don't like that. And then I'm very rebellious in a lot of ways. So they say "fuck China," and then, so I tell them, "Oh, I love China," and they freak the fuck out.
Larry, you like playing pranks on people, huh?
Yeah, I do. I do. They're funny. Like pranks are hard too. Like to make it effective, it has to
Uh,
be naughty, right? And that naughtiness, it's hard now because everybody's into memes.
mhm.
So how do you prank a memester?
Like, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my new thing. So I've been doing that, and it's
I'm sure
been
you'll figure it out.
yeah, yeah. So far, it's been working really good. Yeah, well, yeah. So like locally, I've been telling everybody, uh, because the best way to find out the latest genres in the world is ratemymusic.com. I don't know if you guys go on that site.
Never heard of it.
They rate everything. So even Gorepot is rated.
Oh
Oh, that's
wow.
So
cool.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so obviously now there's like an avant-garde grindcore. Do you guys know this? So,
Uh-uh.
Mm.
so they seriously mix in a lot of jazz.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of shoegaze elements or like post rock elements and grindcore. And that new label, I think it's an older label. I'm not sure about P2. They've been putting out a lot of crazy stuff lately. So even for that genre and freaking like pop music wise, there's like psychedelic, avant-garde, jazz influence, drum and bass or whatever. Like everything's mixed in. It's crazy nowadays.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, well, I'm gonna pick one genre to do, and that'll be metalcore. I'm like, dude, what you guys are freaking Gen Zs, man. Why are you doing something that already died twice?
Yeah.
And then like I can you be Blackpink again? Like what are you gonna do? Like if you invest your time and money, why would you want to do Blackpink? Like you're not number one, you're not hot as them. You don't have like 20 people writing songs for you.
Hmm.
Have freaking like huge labels to invest in you. So why are you doing this on your own? You're just throwing money in down the drain. Why don't you
Yeah.
do for yourself? And they're like, yeah, but my heart and soul are metalcore. I'm like, okay, I'll stop you right there. So because Taiwan is a democratic country, so you would think that everybody's unique and individualistic, right? You stand for yourself. No, everybody wants to do the same thing. You go to the north, they dress like Ken Carson. You go down south, they dress like Ken Carson. I'm like, what do you like, Ken Carson? But you choose metalcore.
Yeah.
I don't. So it's either Ken Carson, Playboy Cardi, or metalcore. So there's no other options. What are your What are your thoughts on different options? Like, what do you have in mind? Like, do you have like Weezer maybe, or Ween, or Minor Threat, Tears for Fear, or
Yeah.
maybe 80s music or whatever, like Devo or stuff like that. So, like, just out of the blue, like, what do you have in mind? Or classical, maybe, just some more polished, like, freaking that orchestra that does The Shining with a
Yeah.
disturb. Yeah. So, like, what do you have in mind? Like, even in your dictionary, like, book of ideas, you have nothing. So, as long as you fill that book with a lot of things, and then you figure it out. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're too busy. Dude, you're freaking 16. You're too busy doing what?
Yeah,
Like,
for
well,
sure.
yeah, so this one I'm trying to praise, and then they are so freaking brainwashed. Dude, it's crazy. Like, they're saying they're open minded. So a lot of foreigners, when they travel to Taiwan, they're like, "Oh, cool, they're open minded because it looks like LA." I'm like, dude, this is cosplay. Everybody's just trying to dress hip hop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even care for hip hop. So the next genre comes, they just flip and they dress like somebody else.
Well, shit. I mean, speaking about dressing, I know you have your website, Fat Tub of Lard, Records.
Right, right,
How
right.
how did that start out? Can you talk us through that creative process and
Oh,
like everybody, I've seen the pictures, people wearing your stuff, and it's just cool to see people expressing themselves through that.
right, right, right. Um, Initially it was because my band back in the day, where what I mentioned, like, was like numbers two in Taiwan. Like, they asked me to do merch because I was a new guy coming back from the States. So I did my interview, I did my audition with them, and they're like, okay, now we need merch. I'm like, dude, I never done this before. Okay, I'll figure this out. So I started from there. Actually, I just started doing merch for that band, and I'm like, okay, I'll just do it for Gorepot. And then initially it was really hard because getting the right prints. Because in Asia we don't have like a template that the printer knows, so you have to give them the template of the size and everything. So I have to
Yeah.
give a bunch of my shirts, and they have to measure it out, and then the results are horrible. There's like limitations. So yeah, it became a big hobby for me. So I used to buy like every month, like 400 or 500 bucks on different labels from the underground. So I'll buy out from Morbid Generation, Rotten Roll Rex, Revenge Production, or Severed, and Comatose. All these different labels I'll buy out because it's rare. I want to create that vibe
Yeah.
for from bands that nobody wants to support.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then yeah, so that started from there, and essentially back in the day, I just want to make stuff that so I can wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like, I end up making top sellers for my own bands, and it's hard because if you rep your own band, it's weird.
Yeah.
But
For
later
sure.
on, travel so much, I stopped caring because I have no clothes anymore to wear on the road.
Yes.
Yeah, so that started from there, and so the same mentality. How do I So, for example, you have this big brands. You have like summer, spring, fall, and autumn and winter, right? So you have a catalog. So
Yeah.
if you put all your designs, all your plans onto the catalog, what do you see? So if you see, like, for example, the brutal death metal covers I mentioned, somebody killing somebody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you put that, then if you're a newcomer or a buyer, potential buyer, you look at everything. You're like, I'll just pick one because everything looks the same.
Yeah.
So I want to create something that when you shop, you want everything.
There's the diversity in there.
Yes, yes, yeah, genau, genau. I mean, so, exactly as genau in German. So yeah, uh, So that's the thing I want to create. So eventually it starts evolving. So a lot of weird stuff are popping up. And so
Yeah.
like so when I made that first fetal deformity shirt and Playboy Cardi actually wore it, that was like the first time that well, brutal death metal logos has been used by Billie Eilish before, a little bit before that,
Mhm.
but it wasn't a thing. So it blew up. So I actually rubbed this mentality in a lot of faces in Taiwan. They're like, brutal death metal slam ain't gonna happen. Like I would say, just wait. And I rub Balenciaga in their face and be like, dude, where'd you get that? Whoa, it came from, Playboy Cardi and Ken Carson, which is your idol, which you hated. I mean, the logo you hated before, but now you love it because of your idol, and your idol got it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in your face, bitch. So that felt good. That was like I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people try to get that mentality, and for me, it has happened a bunch of times. So I know I'm on the right track.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next question. Are there any new projects that you're working on that we should know about?
New projects? Yes, actually, during the process of writing, there's actually a lot of stuff I can't categorize. So actually, I've recruited a few guys. I'm working on the new umbilical asphyxiate.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to get feedback from Clayton because it's a new concept I did. He was like, "Let's do this. Let's do that." I'm like, "No, let's not do that. Let's do this." Because it's when it's released, it's not what the scene hears before. So
Yeah.
I want to go for that. So again, like there is like 3 or 4 different styles I'm trying to come up with. So there's going to be 3 or more new bands, I
Oh,
guess.
wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to not start too many bands.
Yeah, you're very busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have to go to Switzerland in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the Rock the Hell festival.
That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Civilotropsy is headlining, and then Stabbing and freaking
Oh hell yeah.
Stabbing's from Houston. They're from where we're from.
oh, Switzerland. Oh,
No,
it's
no,
from
Stabbing. Stabbing is from Houston. They're
oh
from where we're
Yeah.
from. Yeah. We've
oh
seen
okay,
them.
okay.
We've seen them before. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. I mean, it sucks that the old lineup like got broken up. The good, you
Mhm.
know, but I think they're on the right track. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I mean they're really good live.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. So that
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridget, and what was it? The guy from Desecrate the Faith. He used to be in the same band, the band with Mike Caputo, who now drums for Job for Cowboy. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
they're all from Texas, right?
I believe so. I know for sure Stabbing's original lineup was all from Houston, though.
Yeah.
Right. A and Mel.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's X Stabbing. Yeah, I'm very excited, dude. I can't wait.
Mhm.
For sure.
So it's
Um,
yeah.
we want to do like some kind of fun questions. So
Okay,
I got some rapid fire questions, just like
okay.
let's see, riffs or blast beats?
Riffs.
Riffs, okay. Favorite non-metal band or artist?
Ooh, Wild Hearts from UK.
Okay.
Gotcha. Favorite slam band at the moment?
Oh, Gravitational Distortion. Still,
Gravitational Distortion.
well,
Gotcha.
it's that or Bottleectomy, either one.
My whole ectomy is awesome, man.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
new album is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, man, dude, we're working on actually. This is maybe a thing for you. We're doing a split with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
So what?
awesome.
So
so
what's
it's
the
gonna.
split?
So, what is the split? It's
Like,
about the bottom region, the behind regions of a human.
oh, that's
But
crazy. What band is the split with? It'll be Buttholectomy and
Fatuous Rump.
Fatuous Rump.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
And is
it'll
that
be
that's in the
about what?
works?
That's in the works. Yeah. We talked about it. It was settled. The labels and everything, they're done, settled. I'll try and
That's
make
pretty
them
sick.
as stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Dude, I think they're like the slam impeding flesh now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
And
I
sure.
mean, you've done a song with Peeling Flesh. How was that? You
Oh,
featured on.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
Buster.
Like it's like for people who just got into slam, I feel like a lot of people don't really know like the underground bands in slam. So the first thing you think about is Feeling Flesh now.
yeah,
So actually, a lot of really famous tattoo artists that I met in. So last month I was in Frankfurt, Frankfurt Gossiving Tattoo Convention. So this convention is in Germany, right? So it's the best of the best. All the best tattoo artists from the world goes there. So there's a lot of artists I can see that they have brutal death metal influence. So
yeah,
I them without meeting him first. I'm like, dude, you like slam? I'm sure because he does like Mark Riddick art influenced tattoos, and Lipa from Poland. He does like biomech. So I'm like, what are your guys' favorite bands at the moment? Like without thinking, they're like, oh, Peeling Flesh. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, do you know that? What's your favorite song? There was like no cuss or shit. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I know. I'm very familiar with that song. So if you see a name, then I'm that name. I'm
that's
feeling.
freaking
Oh,
awesome.
really? That's you. So actually, at tattoo conventions, I try to not mix in with death metal because I try to make it easier for people to understand. I'm here for tattooing, nothing else. So this guy was like, I didn't know you're that Larry Wang. I'm like, there's not a lot of Larry Wangs in the world, so actually, it's pretty good. It's really good. The numbers are up because of Peeling Flesh. I appreciate it 100%.
Absolutely.
For
Yeah.
sure.
What do you think's the funniest slam lyric you've ever written?
I never wrote lyrics. Well, actually, well, the
Or
concept is
I guess what like intro to like one of your songs do you really like? You know,
oh
'cause yeah,
the G-Bot kid.
G-Bod Kid.
Yeah, they're introducing G-Bot, the new robot, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
there was a kid saying "Sup, bitches." I think that was
Oh,
My favorite is definitely Too Much Weed Aftermath.
okay, okay, okay.
That one's so funny to me. I love it every single time I hear it.
Well, I like I start doing memes before it's called memes.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty funny. So people call me meme core or weeb grind. Doesn't matter. I'll take anything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love. It's like when you read an interview, like Slayer, for example. Like I think they didn't want to be thrash, or they didn't know what thrash was. So like a lot of people around that time does like similar sounds, and then it got redefined as thrash by later on.
Yeah.
So I like that feeling, when you're doing something, you're kind of doing something, but you got to redefine it to a different genre.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to gatekeep, that sounds lame.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you prefer pig squeals or gutturals?
Oh, pick squeals,
Pig
100%.
squeals? Can you
Yeah,
give
yeah.
us a pig squeal?
Uh,
Uh,
so,
uh,
for the fast part, I use tongue
uh-huh.
because clarinet. You guys know clarinet. It's like the
Yeah.
flute, like
Yeah.
professional flute. So, a clarinet, you have to use your tongue on the reed to give it that sound. So a lot of maybe because like a lot of pig squealers never play clarinet, so they didn't know that you can tap your upper side of your thing, so you can go. It could go way faster. So that's how I get the really really ultra fast Fatuous Rump uh like high speed pick squeals.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. How do you get that sound for facelift deformation? Because it's definitely a different sound. It's more deep.
Oh. Well, it's a mix in with Randy and mine.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
Randy has this Whitechapel like guttural,
Yeah,
and then I try to fit in with that because the way Wilson, another Asian guy, well, he's an engineer. He's like a civil engineer. I'm like, dude, stop being a stereotype. Like, especially in one band,
yeah,
that's like way too much. So when he writes it, it doesn't fit in with the pick screws that much.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Or maybe I still suck. I don't know. With the low,
Oh no, man.
so like I feel like it sounds like more of the guttural sound. So I start going lower. on that for that band. So I go like I just focus more on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, I mean, you got the techniques down. You don't hear a lot of people that sound like you, so
Like well, I talk different too. Oh, it's when I start traveling, I learn different languages.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of language speaking. So like like Klingon or whatever, that really interests me. Like how you get your sound. How does the whole like culture work based on sound? So like I go to India, they're like, hey, can I have your passport number? What the hell? Are you trying to scam me? Whatever. So I learned the most offensive word in India is called "panke lore." It means your sister's dick, essentially. I'm like, dude, is that offensive? It has nothing to do with moms. Like moms are the most offensive thing in every language. Like you guys want to sister's dick.
Oh man.
So
Uh,
like so I learned a lot of like Vietnam, they use a lot of it sounds like very bubbly, very springy.
Yeah.
So from like a long time ago, I started mixing in this. I started imitating them. They sounds funny as shit. So I travel to a lot of places. I speak a little Japanese and very minimal Korean. So I try to mix everything in. So the way I talk is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I work for a German company for 13 years.
oh, wow.
Yeah, so I get the W and V's different sometimes on purpose. So oh my Volkswagen, the back of Volkswagen. So if you do that, then your lyrical like content sounds different than others. That's how you get the uniqueness.
For sure.
Absolutely.
That's gonna
Yeah.
conclude our interview. We thank you so much, Larry, for doing this. Is there anything you want to say to your fans or plug a social media possibly?
Let me know fan wise if you start a band. I'll feature your band at no cost.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
And then stay tuned because for Gorepot, it's going to be featured in a movie. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's going to be freaking exciting.
Okay,
Awesome.
that's awesome.
That
Yeah,
is
we
awesome.
off on the press release, so it's like do whatever you want, and we're not going to charge. But like we do value our fan support, so whatever you buy, I mean, we're not going to chip you money or whatever. We're going to provide you merch that's going to get you in trouble, 100%.
That's
So
awesome.
we're going to keep doing that, and hopefully you guys, like to support us by, getting a very unique merch and something that you can maybe sell on grail.com later on for 500 bucks. I don't know, whatever you want. But we're going to sell it for a fair price. We're going to support you. Yeah, so all of this, thank you guys for the support. I'm going to keep doing this. I mean,
For sure,
forever.
Larry. For sure. We appreciate it very much as well.
Hope this podcast goes well. Hope